Welcome back to RV Capital Talk. I'm Dave Dufour here at RVNN TV. With me is Sherm Goldenberg, publisher of RV Business Magazine, as well as Gregg Fore, chairman of the RVIA and president of Dicor Corp. We're talking about some of the efforts that are really getting planned here in the next week or so as RVIA puts together the committee week. And one of the biggies as far as the sessions coming up is the GoRVing Coalition, making its plans for the following year.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. GoRVing has always been very active. This year more so than the last couple, because with the industry recovery, there's a fee that's on every seal that's sold to the RV industry, that's put on every unit.
Right.
That's what funds GoRVing. With the industry recovery this year, the funding has come back up to a level that's reasonable. It isn't a great level that we've had, back in the mid-2000s.
Right.
But it's acceptable level, and it allowed us to go out and do all new creative, which is going to be introduced and fine-tuned at this committee week at the GoRVing Coalition. So it's all new TV, all new print ads, all new placements, and we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, is it going to? We going to see a change on the website as well?
Yes, everything will take a look on towards the new campaign, and I believe the right word is away. Is what they're touting it as. But yeah,
the funds raised for this campaign are totaled roughly how much in a year, just to give the public some...
this year, I believe, Sherm, it's around $12 million.
For ad purchases?
That's correct.
All right. And I might also point out, in asking you, hey, it's a program that has enjoyed a great ride as far as unity and support within an industry, almost unprecedented, right?
It has been between dealers, suppliers, manufacturers, campgrounds, everybody who's part of the coalition, and has contributed both personally and monetarily to that. It has worked together to create an atmosphere that has attracted attention to our industry. Other people have tried to emulate it, never to the same level of success. I don't know why that is, but I believe in the discussions. I was in Washington at the offices last week, and the brand remains a very pure brand. GoRVing does. It has grown in strength and stature. It is still very pure, and there are many things I believe that's on the horizon with the use of that brand that can mean even more things for the RV industry. So we're pretty excited about it.
That's great.
One area in which coalition funds have come under the microscope, especially here in Elkhart, is the support of that coalition for the RVMH Hall of Fame. The coalition recently agreed to a limited extent, underwrite the Hall of Fame on a quarterly basis, as it had been doing for a couple of years. What's this update on all that?
I'll be happy to give that to you, Sherm. There isn't anybody that I've talked to at whether it's members or staff members at RVIA that doesn't believe that the Hall of Fame is a very good thing. They understand its mission. They think it's a good thing for Elkhart. However, we also have a fiduciary responsibility that goes along with GoRVing to be careful what we use our money for and how it's used. We ask the Hall of Fame to provide us with some operating forecasts, with some action plans that took them forward. They answered part of those in this current quarter, which started in April, and as a result of that, we sent the funding for the second quarter of this year. We also, when we did that, asked them to provide some additional information. Should that happen on a timely basis, and should we all agree that they're doing the things that they should to the best of our measurement, then that funding is likely to continue. On the other hand, we have our new budget year coming up, and starts October 1st, 2011 for our 2012 fiscal year. Everything's clean slated. You know, whether that's certainly on the agenda. What happens to it, I don't know. That's up to the board.
When you speak of RVIA in this conversation, I think it's fair to point out that RVIA and the RVDA,
right,
the Recreation Vehicle Dealers Association, co-own technically, on the legal papers, that coalition program.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And I might say that at this point in time, relative to the Hall of Fame, that RVDA and RVIA stand together. Our message has been very clear, and it's been the same. So we're on the same page.
I think it's fair to say that the general consensus in all these corners is that the Hall of Fame find a solid existence.
Exactly.
Right.
But that it be done, again, on a fiscally sound basis.
Correct. They have to find a way to operate successfully, financially. If we're part of that, or if GoRVing is part of that, so be it. But we'll never be the major part of it. So they need to find that footing.
It needs to be a self-sustaining kind of operation, obviously.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it doesn't
It's a
work
great
very
institution. They do some nice
well.
things.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that their big issue is the debt that got bound up. Debt, the buzzword for today, huh? In the government and everywhere.
Well, I'm not involved in their board, so I don't know the specifics and would hate to
Okay.
address anything I'm not familiar with.
All right. Well, GoRVing, the major objective of GoRVing, obviously, I mean, it's kind of in the name, but you focus not only on, we focus mainly on RVers to be, in other words, trying to bring more people into the lifestyle and into the fun of RVing, or do you also address needs and issues of current RVers and maybe try to expand their experience?
It's both, Dave. We're very fortunate in our industry, and Sherm knows this as well as anybody, that we have an intensely loyal owner body.
Right.
We can't ever forget them. They get us through these tough times we've been through. And so we have to speak to them while we're speaking to the other people that we want to bring into the industry. But you can't replace that fierce loyalty, that it's there. And I was thinking of this the other day, and they breathe the traditional American values. They are the base of America. And we need them to be that. Not only for the RV industry, we need them for a lot of other reasons.
That's right.
I don't know that it's generally known that the GoRVing outreach goes to a wide variety of magazines. It goes to professional bowling. It goes to baseball, MLB, and the internet, and here in Elkhart again. I'm not sure the extent to which people realize just how sophisticated.
It's a very broad-reaching program, Sherman. You're right. We were on NCAA basketball tournament this last March. It was a couple of Duke games, as I recall. The scoreboard, the monitor in front of the scoreboard, GoRVing.com was scrolling across of it. So the reach is incredible, and it's not just to our loyal base. It's to a broad group of people, and we're trying to reach out even farther.
It's not just U.S. either, is it?
Canada, GoRVing Canada has their own committee and their own sometimes their own creative, and they deal with their dollars in their own way. They are associated certainly with GoRVing, but it's owned by the Canadian associations.
I gotcha.
We have recently worked with the Canadian associations to redo the seal process. I mentioned earlier that we put these seals on the units so that it's much more efficient for our manufacturers, and it's much more efficient for the dealers, and it also assures proper funding for GoRVing Canada, which they hadn't been getting the benefit of that because we didn't know how many units were going into Canada. Now with the new system, which takes effect June 1st, some are already doing it, but June 1st, we know exactly, and their funding will be based on that. And that's a really exciting thing for our Canadian friends, and they're a big part of the RV business.
Sure.
And what we've tried to do with that process, using that as a base, is to create a better North American RV industry.
Right.
And we've been able to join together with the Canadian associations and work very closely. It's been a real benefit. We're working on homogenized standards down the road, which will be even a bigger benefit for everybody. We just agreed to work with RPTIA, the park model people, on a destination camping committee to look at those values and how they might be different. So we're trying to encompass all of North America in what we do and all product types.
I should add that destination camping is a big deal. It's something that the industry, the country, is going to be seeing a lot of.
Right.
in conversations like that in the near future. Final question, I guess, from me. Can you give us a little bit of a teaser as to the content of the next creative, or what you guys have narrowed it down to? Let's put it that way.
Only that they're calling it the Away Adventure. That's kind of the tagline that's used, and it talks about, it's very family oriented, and it's and it's very social oriented, because RVing is a very social activity. There's a community, you know, they're at the lake, or they're at a campground, or they're wherever they are, but it's a very social. They're with their friends or their family, and so we speak of it in terms of being away.
Right.
Where are you away, and how can you be away? And GoRVing and RVs are a way to be away, but still be together.
That's right.
So that's really what it lends itself to.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank you
Thanks,
for
Sherm.
joining Dave
bet.
and I.
Well, thanks
Dave,
very
thank
much
you.
for joining us here on RV Capital Talk, and we'll be looking forward to that new creative. When does that hit?
Sometime this fall.
Sometime this fall. Okay, so look for the new creative from GoRVing, and get out there, and good business to everyone out there who's in the RV business. That's all from us. Thanks for joining us today on RV Capital Talk.